So for this project, I'm going to be installing landscape lighting for all this new landscaping we put in. Some lights for the palms, these birds of paradise, all this bamboo in the back, same thing on this end here. So back here, behind everything, I have the electrical. Right here. And then this is a Wi-Fi switch or Wi-Fi outlet made by Casa. It's got 2 outlets on it. You can control each one individually. So in one of these outlets I have this transformer. And this transformer is made by, it's called Duen Wills. I will put a link for this specific one in the description. It's a 300 watt transformer. And so when this gets powered on with either the switch or with the app over Wi-Fi, it'll turn on, and this will power all of the landscape lights. Here are the landscape lights that we're going to be installing. These particular ones are, the brand is Sun V. They're 12 watts each, 900 lumens. This is a 10 pack. On the side here, it kind of gives you direction on how much you can connect to the transformer. So, number of lights, 10, times the bulb wattage of each light, 11. I don't know why it says 11 because these are 12. Would be 120 watts. And the transformer I got is 300 watts. So I got the bigger one because I plan on adding more lights in the corner of the yard. So I'm gonna need a bigger transformer. And it also tells you how to select your cable. Basically the total wattage times the length of cable. And then this gives you what gauge you need. So this area here, I'm not going over 50 feet. So total wattage is 120 watts because it's 10 lights times 12 watts, 120 watts. And then multiply that times the total length. Let's just say 50 feet. That puts us at 6,000. So 5,001 to 7,500 is 14 gauge cable, which is what I'll be using. First light's gonna go in front of this Christmas palm. I might need to adjust these. Start on right there. I'm going to do 2 lights in front of the birds of paradise. I have a long stretch of bamboo here. I think I'm going to go with 4 lights to cover that far end all the way down to that end. I think 4 lights should do the trick. My transformer is on this end of the yard. And my first light is on this end. So I'm gonna start the landscape wire, hit this light, weave it through the plants to the second light, and to the light for the palm, back to that light. There, there, there. Back over to the birds of paradise, and then I'm gonna wrap it around to the transformer, probably coil up some extra wire there just in case I need it. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm just first gonna lay all the wire out and then I'll cut it, and then I'll start splicing in all these lights. I already did the first one. That's what it looks like. So I'll show you how the little splice thingamabobbies work. I don't know what you call them. What are they called? Fast lock connectors. So they came with the lights. All right, I've got all the wire laid out. Around the birds of paradise. And back to my transformer. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it right there and strip the ends off and connect it to the bottom of this transformer. Here's the bottom of the transformer. On this landscape wire, one of the wires kind of has like a ridged edge. So I'm just selecting that as the common wire, and then the smooth one I'll put in the 12-volt slot. All right, I'm gonna show you how to splice one of these lights in. So I've got my landscape wire here. I'm just gonna take a knife and the spot that I want to put the light, I'm just gonna cut a little slit right down the middle. You want to be careful not to cut into the wire and expose any copper. Once you have a little slit, you can separate it like that. Take two of these wire connectors. They come with the lights. And so unscrew the big nut at the end here. You'll see it has a slot, which is where the wire goes, and then the other end is this pointed metal piece. So when you screw that down into the wire, it goes all the way through into the copper to make the connection. So take this piece here, make sure it's seated all the way in. I'm using 14 gauge wire here, and it's a really tight fit, so I can't imagine that these wire connectors would work very well with 12 gauge. I'm thinking 14 is probably the highest you can go. So it's fully seated, and then you take the other end and you screw it in. Make sure it doesn't cross thread. You want to make sure it's going in straight. Just give it a push while you're turning it. Screw it in really tight. Okay. See, it's trying to cross thread there. There we go. Good and tight. And then what you want to do, you can see that metal contact in there. So our wires from our lights are going to go alongside that, and then this screws in and holds it in place. So what I've been doing is just leaving it slightly unscrewed. And like I said before, this ridged wire here on the transformer, I connected that to the common wire, and I'm just calling all my browns common. and then my blues will be the 12 volt. So this ridged wire here is what the commons are going to. So you want to put it down in here. It'll pretty much just stop in there when it hits that metal terminal. And then you screw this down good and tight. And just try to pull on it, and if it doesn't come out, then it's right where it needs to be. Same on the other side. Wasn't all the way in. Yeah, it's tight, so that is done. And those are fine to be left out in the weather. I'm probably going to cover all these wires up with some more mulch to hide them. But that's it. There's a close-up shot of how these connectors look. Alright, so I have the transformer hooked up to the Wi-Fi Casa switch. So here's the Casa app. So I've got my landscape lights right here. So if I turn them on, oops. Here's what it looks like. It's 10 lights total. Over here, it's kind of dark spots there, so I'm thinking I'm going to add 2 more lights for a total of 12.